Welcome to Running for the Bus, presented by BKDMC and hosted by me, Ben Kelleher. Now, welcome to our brand new weekly nutrition episode. Now, these episodes are going to be very different really to our other episodes because our main episodes that we put out still on the first Friday of each month will be our in-depth interviews, looking at the stories of incredible runners, really delving into those details and all of those things. Whereas this is going to be a very short, snappy weekly insight into the world of running. I'm going to be telling you about my running, my races, perhaps some insight into my race day diaries, and so much more as well. And also we're going to be looking at some inspiring stories from the world of running. We're going to be looking at the latest news in running, like exciting races that are coming up or have just happened, and really looking at what's happening right now. So they're going to be slightly different from what we've done before. We'll also occasionally have weekly drop-in guests. We'll have experts drop in and other things as well. But hopefully this will just be a nice accompaniment to your week to join you on a short run or perhaps as part of your long run. So recently, since I've run obviously 3 marathons in 2 weeks, doing Boston and Lincolnshire, and then I did Boston, USA, and then I did the London Marathon. And I obviously needed a little bit of a break after that. So I had a week or two just to rest and recover and enjoy some time with family and friends. And then since then, with my coach, we started to build up because my upcoming race calendar is looking to get pretty full with lots and lots of exciting things. So the next really, really exciting thing that I'm working on is the Spitfire Scramble, which is a 24-hour ultra relay, London's only, in fact, one. And it's going to be really, really fun. We're doing it at the end of July, mid-July, so the 11th of July. And I've got a team of 8. We're going to be taking it on, basically taking it in turns to do this 5.9-mile loop. If you've listened to my episode with Danny Coyle, he's also the COO of the Abbott World Marathon Majors, this is also his race, and he asked me about doing it when he came on, and I agreed to do it with this team. So yeah, we've got 8 of us doing these loops. We'll be taking it in turns, but the big goal is to have an amazing time out there, just enjoy it. We've got lots of support. We're going to have just a party, basically. We want our sort of hub to be like the party area, the area that looks like they're having the most fun. We've also got a really cool team, a really great team of runners, so I'm excited to see what we can do. But yeah, the main goal is to go out there and enjoy it. So as I say, I've started prepping for that, and that's coming up then. So yeah, it starts on the 11th, obviously goes into the 12th. If you want to come along and support, I'd absolutely love that, so please do come and cheer and support if you can. But yeah, as I say, I'll be sort of building up to that, and my training has started to ramp up towards that. So I've started doing a few more long runs. I've got a 2-hour run this weekend, and yeah, in the week there's some chunky ones. I'm back running 8 times a week at the moment, so I run twice on a Monday and a Wednesday, and then I've also got some interval sessions in there as well on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are always interesting, always fun. So if you do see me in Battersea Park looking like I'm in pain, that's because I am, and so I may look like I'm not having the time of my life, but I am somewhat enjoying it, okay? And it is worth it in the long run. And yeah, also building up those strength sessions as well. I do those usually on a Tuesday and a Friday, and anyone who knows me knows that strength sessions are not my favorite thing in the world, and so I kind of force myself to do them. But I can see the benefits, and I do understand how important it is for that injury prevention and all that. So I've been building up for that and basically getting myself fitter, stronger, ready for the 24-hour relay that's coming up. So I'm super excited for that, and that training is just going to keep ramping up over the next couple of weeks, although it does start to sort of rein in some of the longer runs in the next maybe 2 weeks, because obviously then really you start to get into that taper phase, which it feels like it's come around really quick since London and Boston. So yeah, that's why these last couple of weeks you've really started to get back into it. And then yeah, post that, obviously, at the end of August, I'll be running the Sydney Marathon. So I'm actually going out to Sydney right sort of at the start of August, and I'll be in New Zealand initially for the first week or so, which is going to be amazing. I've got some really cool stuff planned there, just to enjoy myself, and also to do some running, obviously, and I also need to get some swimming in, starting in July, because I'm doing the swim 7 times in September, so I need to start getting some more swimming back in my legs and my body. And yeah, as I said, I'll be out in New Zealand then, and then in Sydney, looking to join as many sort of run clubs and different things that I can do when I'm out in those places. So if you have a run club in New Zealand, or particularly in Auckland, but I will be going around, and similarly in Sydney or around that area, please let me know, because I'd absolutely love to come and join you all. And yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, so that would be the next marathon that I do, and the training will start to ramp up for that post Spitfire. The sort of aim for that race is to enjoy it, to have an amazing time in Sydney. I think we're looking at potentially goals for later in the year, that I'm going to be working towards. So Sydney is going to be sort of part of that journey and part of that route. So yeah, that will soon see me back into those intervals and back into those long runs again, once I've had a break somewhat after Spitfire Scramble. But as I said, I think that will be quite a quick turnaround. And yeah, the taper is going to be relatively short in between now and then Sydney. So it's all about sort of building it carefully, building it sensibly, and I'm working with my coach carefully on that. So that's where my training is right now. That's where we're looking at, and I look forward to updating you more on where we're going next. Now, as part of our Spitfire Scramble team, I've assembled a lot of great friends of mine who are also fantastic runners. And also, part of it was that in around January time, we announced this competition for our final member. And we launched this across Instagram in tandem sort of with the National Running Show, also showing it, and Spitfire Scramble themselves. And the idea was to bring somebody in who's never done a 24-hour ultra relay before. I haven't done one for 24 hours either before, to be fair. So fresh on that. But somebody who hadn't done it before, relatively new sort of trail running, and somebody who basically for whatever reason hasn't been able to do it. And the idea behind it being in that we wanted to, first of all, get them entry in so they get to run the race, kit them out with kit which Scott are providing very kindly, so they've got their whole race day outfit, and make sure they've got their nutrition, make sure they've got everything that they need to be ready for race day and to join our team and hopefully have a life-changing experience. And we ran this competition across about a month, and we had hundreds, if not thousands, of people enter, and it really was mind-blowing to see the impact that it had, and the sort of response that we had, and the incredible, inspiring stories that people shared with us about why they should be involved. And eventually we whittled it down. As part of the team, we whittled it down to a select few, and then the team made the decision on who they thought was the most appropriate to join a team. And it was really, really hard, because there were some incredible entries, and if you did enter, thank you so much, and I hope that at some point in the future we can cross paths and be in a race together soon. But the person we chose was Jono, and a few months ago I asked Jono to join me for a call. Basically, I gave him a little bit of a rundown of, you're going to join the call, you're going to sort of present your story in a bit more detail, and then we'll make a decision from there. Secretly, we'd already made the decision. He was already part of the team, and you're going to see what happened now. So you're joining me at a very exciting moment, because we have selected the final member for Team BKDMC for the Spitfire Scramble 2026. Now, Jono has told us all about why he should be chosen. An incredible story, and we can't wait to have him as part of the team. But what Jono doesn't know is that he's already been chosen. He thinks he's coming on the call because he's made it to the final 5, and I'm going to ask him why he should be chosen, and then I'm going to surprise him and tell him that he's already part of the team. Let's wait and see as he joins the call now.
Hello.
Thanks for entering the competition. Appreciate it. It's looking to be really fun, and yeah, we've had lots of people like enter and stuff, and as I say, you sort of made it to the final
Amazing.
5 with our pick and stuff, so that's really cool. So Jono, I'd love for you to tell me in 30 seconds why you should be a part of Team BKDMC for the Spitfire Scramble 2026.
I'm probably not going to be the fastest person on your team, but I would say that when I'm running with others, I will put the rest of the team before myself. So what I lack in speed, I'll definitely bring it in supporting the team and making sure I'm lifting everybody up, no matter how dark it gets and how much pressure there is. I will always be smiling. It is community, and everybody is out to support each other. Be well up for it. Yeah, whatever you need, I'm there.
Actually, I mean, you don't need to sort of sell it to me anymore, because we've already selected you to be part of the team.
Oh,
So
amazing.
you're going to be the final member in Team BKDMC for the Spitfire Scramble 2026. You're going to get a full training kit and race day kit from Scott, and Kelleher are going to sort you out of nutrition, and then there's going to be lots of other surprises along the way. So how's
Oh,
that feel?
amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, absolutely cannot wait.
That's amazing. I'm so glad to have you a part of it, and I think it's going to be so much fun. So yeah, thanks for being involved, and yeah, we'll see you in July.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much.
So what's been happening in the world of running this week? Well, one of the biggest news stories has been the European Off-Road Running Championships, which have been held in Slovenia in a place, now I'm trying to say this precise and exact, but please let me know if I get it wrong, called Ljubljana Kamnik. Again, let me know if I got that wrong. But it was a huge event with 593 athletes from 33 countries taking part, and just really goes to show how big and massive trail running is just getting bigger and bigger all the time. And in Great Britain and Northern Ireland, we saw huge success as well, with the likes of Jacob Adkin and Marvin Goodrum taking home lots of awards, and they were our standout performers, but there were so many more as well involved, so congratulations to everyone that was there. On top of that, we also have seen that, again, the trail running world is expanding all the time. The UTMB World Series announcing that Salomon Zugspitze Ultra Trail in Germany will officially join the series later this month. Now, this actually marks the first time that Germany's had an event at the UTMB World Series, and so it's obviously a massive moment in the European calendar, and seeing that grow and grow and grow. And so we can really, again, see how big it is getting. Obviously, as well, at the weekend, we saw the Diamond League back in action. We saw many different events taking place, and there was lots and lots of close events taking place as well in that time. And one of the big sort of standout performances was South Africa's Zakahiti Nene, who was winning the men's 400 meters in Stockholm, despite there being quite difficult conditions as well to run in. So congratulations to him. We also saw some really standout performances in 800 meters. For example, Audrey Wero ran a 1:53.98 and actually beat Keely Hodgkinson, who was obviously, massive Olympic champion. And she actually ended up going third in the all-time list and being the quickest time that we've seen in decades. It's so exciting to be able to see this competition, because when you suddenly have so many runners at the top of their game all competing in this way, you suddenly see that actually it becomes much more exciting for you as a viewer, or being in the crowd as a supporter. So there's so much to take away from it, and I think it makes it really exciting, especially when we look ahead to the different events coming up in the next year or two. As well as that, we saw 17-year-old Cooper Lutenhaus, who again has just shown remarkable form this year. He's been unbeaten the whole year, and he won the men's 800 meters in 1:42.70. Mind-blowing stuff. It really, really is just mind-blowing. To do it in that kind of speed is phenomenal. But again, he's 17 years of age and he's doing times like that, and he's gone on this unbeaten streak. It really does look exciting for the world of running and sports and athletics, particularly in the 800 meters at the moment. The other news that we saw as well was obviously Jacob Ingebrigtsen is nearing his return. So this is obviously one of the most closely watched stories. Everybody's wondering when Jacob's going to be back, and the reports are that he is making that comeback relatively soon. The timeline is being watched because he remains, again, a favourite for the 1500 metres and the 5000 metres. So people are starting to look, when's he going to return? When's he going to be back? And by all accounts, it's looking quite soon. Also, in the Diamond League, now this young man is 18 years old, Gout Gout, fantastic name by the way, is preparing for his debut. So he is preparing to do that in Oslo, and he already has the fastest ever 200 meters time by a teenager, and it's obviously drawing comparisons to some of the all-time greats, some that we featured on this very podcast just recently. And his emergence is just growing and growing, and it's becoming even more exciting for us to see and to watch. So it's really exciting within the Diamond League. Obviously, looking ahead, we know that the Diamond League is continuing across its series, and we're also going to be seeing that event now with the Zugspitze Ultra Trail in UTMB in Germany, and building towards that autumn 2026 World Athletics running campaign, and obviously so many more. And if you see any, I'd love to hear from you and see what you've got to share. And our final bit for this week is looking at one of the good news stories that I've been reading and looking into and finding out about. And this one you may know about, or if you don't, then I'd love to share more. It's about Tommy Rivs. Tommy Rivs grew up loving endurance in sports. He became a respected marathon runner, obviously ultra runner, coach, physical therapist, and so much more. And he built a large following online already from that, through his sort of training advice, his positive mindset, and his storytelling. And lots of people have seen that and followed that over the years. But in 2020, after experiencing some sort of different issues with his breathing, he was hospitalized and diagnosed with lymphoma. So obviously being a cancer which is affecting people's lungs. His condition became life-threatening. He underwent intense treatment. He had to go through chemotherapy and he was medically induced into a coma. This illness obviously completely devastated his body. You can only really imagine the impact that it had, and you can sort of see that journey on his story, and on his page that he shares. And as a result, at one point, he lost a lot of his strength and a lot of his weight, and he had to relearn just basic physical activities right back to the beginning. So, supported by his wife and his daughters, he ended up beginning this sort of long, gradual journey focused mainly on moving again. Not maybe thinking about some of those massive goals and aspirations that he's done previously, just focusing on getting out, walking, biking, and eventually getting into some of those shorter intervals and starting to build up from there. And rather than sort of chasing those elite race times, he kind of shifted his mindset, his perspective towards being more gratitude-based, resilient, celebrating the life that he has, the life that he's still got after getting through this just traumatic experience. He ended up returning over that time towards some of the major marathon races such as Boston and New York City. And again, these weren't to compete for those fast times. I think his time from the previous time he'd run, I think it was in Boston or New York, to then running back in New York was like 7 hours difference. And it clearly just shows that obviously physically he may not have been in the same place, but he was wanting to just show that resilience, that determination to get there and to come back. And I think it really is a story of just inspiration. It shows a symbol of somebody who's determined to do everything they can to not only get through this experience and to survive it, but also to recover and to come back mentally stronger, and also thinking about how he can physically become stronger as well. And his journey has obviously inspired so many, and I find it just incredibly inspirational, because it's sort of transformed from this one about athletic performance, about gain, about keep going towards this goal and that goal, and actually finding more about the sort of perseverance in it, the sort of family support along the way, and finding more meaning behind why he's doing these runs after nearly losing his life. And I think for me, I find that just really, really inspiring, because I think sometimes we can often get sort of lost up or caught up in thinking about next race and this time and this and that and this, and trying all the time and putting pressure on ourselves and maybe not celebrating those wins. And actually, if you're getting out there, if you're training, if you're getting out the door, if you're doing those strength sessions, you're doing those intervals, if you're training a couple of times a week, like whatever you're doing, you're succeeding, you're winning, you're putting yourself, your physical self, your mental self in the best place. You're not sitting back, you're pushing yourself to be there. And I think this is such a great example of somebody who has had incredible success and then has faced some of the hardest setbacks along the way and some of the most difficult periods of his life, and has come back from it and is now able to do these incredible things. And he's started to bring those times down, he started to get fitter and stronger, but the main thing is he's really enjoying it and loving it. And I think for anyone who's watching this, perhaps maybe has gone through an experience like this, or perhaps is going through something similarly very difficult, or is somebody who's maybe just needing a push to get out there and to do it, and maybe feeling a bit stuck in the ways, a bit stuck in a rut, I hope you see a story like this and you find inspiration behind it, and it makes you think that actually, yeah, if he can do that, come back from something like that, then absolutely I can. Because I really do think you can. And I really think there's so much more we are capable of that we just don't realise. So I hope that story inspires you. That brings us to the end of our very first weekly nutrition episode of Running for the Bus. Thanks for joining us. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've maybe taken something away from it or it's inspired you. And please do share your feedback. Tell us what you'd maybe want to see in the future, what's working well, and so much as well we'd love to take away from it. So please do get in touch. And thank you again for listening. If you want to find out more, you can go to my Instagram. It's BKDMC. You can find the tread playlist there. You can find the rookie runners training plan. You can also see much more, including some of our live episodes that are coming up. And we've got some exciting announcements in the next few weeks, so do check that out. And if you've enjoyed the show, then please do hit follow and share what you think has worked well in the comments. Send us a message. We'd love to hear from you and get your views on the show, and just finding out about your stories as well. I would love to hear from you, so please get in touch. We will see you next time on Running for the Bus, where you can listen on the run, on the bus, or whilst you're running there. See you then.